Real motion getter. Stay in motion. Gonna keep that motion. We gonna stay on top. $1 million nigga. $1 billion nigga. This is not no cap talk.
Motion Mondays with Dreamwise. We are here. What's the deal, family? What's the word? This is where I go down my Instagram algorithm, Instagram feed, and we go through the spiritual gnosis that comes up in these particular videos through the informational light. Yes, sir. I'm excited about today. This is going to be a good one. Let's wake that ass up. Wake that ass up, boy. Wake it up. Before I start, though, I got to dive deep into the spiritual messages that came Friday. Oh, my God. You would have thought it was Friday the 13th. How much spiritual light came for the family, the melanated family, on Friday. And it was a beautiful thing to see because, again, this is the times we're in. This message that came from the spirit world, this is exact times we're in. We're in this new awakening, this new change, this new changing of the guard that we have to embrace and really relish in our being so we can actually start to move as gods instead of humans. So first, Friday, which was 5/16/2025. Boom, let me show y'all this. Okay, so the fire came, Louisiana fire. Boom, right? This happened Friday. Burning that plantation down. Not a way. This is not the way. And you've seen Black people cheering and in a space of joy, bliss, power, and like freedom, essentially, right? This was the first sign of eradicating the slave mindset. This was the first nod that says, oh, okay, we're burning away and tearing down the house or a house that doesn't serve us. And it's no coincidence that the plantation was called Not Away, because it's not the way to go. Boys was cheering, boys made it videos and everything. I was like, oh, okay, man, let people be here, bet. Then Louisiana, 11 inmates escaped, 11 melanated inmates escaped, 11 brothers. And the interesting thing about this was it happening on the same day of the plantation fire, and it probably happened around the same time. Chaos in the blood, baby. Hey, and one of the biggest signs of this escape on Friday was one of the inmates put "too easy," laugh out loud, meaning it's too easy to break free of this new paradigm we're walking into. It's too easy to move into our power as gods, as goddesses. What happened was we got tricked into believing in the plan, and that plan took action and took hold of our minds. See, when you even look at the word plantation, it's a plan that they set up for melanated beings to capture the gods and goddesses of this earth, to keep them in limbo, to keep them a shell of themselves, to make them believe that they're less than, that they're inferior. And now that we're taking back our right state of mind, our chaos state of mind, now you have the potential to run amok on this bitch. But it's up to you to see the signs, see the symbols, see the messages that I'm showing you right now. And then the last thing, Friday, this was a clear message. Final Destination came out Friday as well. And sure enough, you see the skull on fire, and you see that it says bloodlines. Ha. Hey, I can't make it up. I'm just telling you what it is. All of these things happening on Friday is no coincidence. This is a message from the spirit world, from the ancestors, saying, hey, it's time to wake that bitch up. Wake that ass up and get out of this slave systematic slave mindset that's keeping you in limbo. See, it's not as prevalent because also a prison is a slave. Is basically a plantation to keep a certain group of people down, right? You can tell that by the different charges and the different outcomes of, melanated beings getting in jail and incarcerated. Of course, they're going to put some of their people in jail, but the whole idea is to give the goddesses more time and lock up their cells, and keep them fried, if you will. So now all of a sudden these 11 inmates escape. Now we're not saying like, if they did wrong, they can't pay the time, but we know the bigger, deeper idea of the prison, the school to prison pipeline, the whole notion of when you look at a jail, it looks like it's just melanated beings in that bitch. So we got to understand that to the core, that this was a big sign as well. So now when we see the fire, right, of the plantation burning down, when we see the 11 inmates escaping and they running amok. Now, one of them got caught. And why did he get caught? Because of the ego, boasting, bragging online and shit, trying to shine on boys. So he had to get his ass back in there. Spirit's like, nah, nigga, you supposed to be inconspicuous right now, nigga. You trying to get online like, yeah, nigga, I'm out. Catch me if you can. Them niggas probably pulled right up on his ass while he was live. Ha! Chaos in the blood, baby. Why niggas always you just got out. You think you need to be on live, nigga? Hell nah, boy. Nigga can't even help himself. That's the ego. That's ego for your ass. Nigga just got out. Just escaped prison. You supposed to be low. I'm talking about low. I'm talking about shiesty mask on, maybe, right? Real inconspicuous if you trying to, act like you in Corona times. Have something covering your face. Be really ducked off somewhere. You can't go to your mama crib. You can't go to your girlfriend crib. So you got to be ducked off where they wouldn't even know where you was at. That partner you barely fucked with, but he'll fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Chaos in the blood, baby. That nigga hopped online the next day. Said, yeah, I'm out, baby. What's up? Let's kick it. That's that's a mental thing, dog. Chaos in the blood. Boys can't wait. And then Final Destination, Bloodlines was the biggest idea. And then just seeing a skull burning. A skull means skill. The etymology of skull is skill. So understand when you see these skulls in the Day of the Dead culture or the Hallows Eve culture, right? Essentially what they're saying is the ancestors can give you particular skills if you tap into them through your DNA. So that skull just means skills, and the skills is new understandings or new lights that you can have based off of you doing your ancestor veneration. And tapping into them and asking them a question, asking them for something that you need. Because not all of them, but some of them might be outside of the circle of time, right? Their spirit is definitely outside of the circle of time, but not their soul. Some of their souls might have came back, but that particular spirit in this incarnation lifetime is still in the astral realms. And the fourth dimension, third dimension of this illusionary construct or this time-space continuum thing that we're in is still at play. So now if their spirit is in the astral realms and you can talk to them and get into communication with them, and they can provide prevalent information for you to move down here in this earth realm, then you go for yours and shoot your shot. You feel me? Especially if they were skilled in a particular thing. Like let's say if they made a lot of money down here on earth, then obviously you can ask them for money. Or if they were skilled at, uh, uh, taking care of their children, like your great grandma, right? She had 13 kids, and you need help with these children. You're trying to figure it out. She'll definitely give you some information and some light that can help you move with your 5 bad kids, with your baby's kids. So yeah, that's what happened Friday. And melanated beings, we are on. So the more you understand that to the core, the more we can start to move out of the slave mindset. And just so we can have further clarity on slavery and know that it's not a physical manifestation that's happening, it's also a psychological. Dr. Blind, slavery. Dr. Blind, the functionary. He says slavery, psychologically, that's the first word he starts with, psychologically or physically subjugated to another, where one's thoughts or one's labor is not his or her own. Where one's thoughts and one's labor is not his or her own. So let's stay with the thoughts. Your thoughts are not your own. So because you've been programmed to believe that white people are on top just based off of the Christian motif of America, putting this white Jesus figure as the savior of the world, now all of a sudden you can psychologically see white people as higher than or greater than. And that could actually fuck up your walk of life if you've always been a melanated being, and subconsciously you don't know why you feel like this person has, and then they just keep on repeating the same narrative through the job markets, right? Saying, oh, white people get hired first or whatever, through the ownership of teams and ownerships of different ideas and things, and just through the information itself. So then that can actually fuck you up and keep you in a slave mindset to say, okay, well, I must be some kind of worker here on earth, right? So a big part of entrepreneurship is to understand and to believe that you're beyond any boss. You don't need a boss because you're the boss of yourself. So that's waking up and understanding and knowing in your heart and in your mind that you can rule over yourself. You can go out and hunt for your own food. The problem is when there's a sign of what we say, struggle or fear, or any of that. Like, say, a lot of people, when they were in that corona time, they became entrepreneurs, and then they all went back to the work at the first sign of like struggle and shit like that, right? The struggle is good because it puts you into another space of self, where you have to become somebody else to move into that particular next journey that you're trying to accomplish, which is freedom and you being the boss of yourself. So you have to become the thing, right? And some of y'all were not becoming it. Some of y'all were just like, okay, hey, everybody's home. Maybe I can sell something online. You probably did a few good things, and then but you never became it. You just actually was faking the funk and saying, oh, wow, this is good times. In becoming it, it's a different level of energy that has to transpire in your body. And that energy takes you up out of here to understand and know that you can hunt for your own food. And then, this is how I like to think of it, right? They was paying, when I was a teacher, they was paying me $50,000 a year. It's probably more than that. Shit got to go up to like, now my brother-in-law, he first year teacher, no certification. He got $70,000 a year, right? Which is good. If you're in that mindset or whatever. You want to think, as an entrepreneur, you want to think, okay, let me make $1 million in a year. I gotta make $2 million this year. You feel me? Because that ceiling, and there is no ceiling, right? So with a job, you basically capped. When you're an entrepreneur, you sky's the limit. So if you can take your mind somewhere else and really go there, like, all right, how can I make 5 million this year? Then essentially what will happen is, and you actually believe it, right, in your heart and feel it, essentially what happen is you'll become the person that has to make 5 million a year. And then let's say you don't get to the 5 million. Let's say you get to 1 million. Okay, well, shit, you 10 times your income of being a teacher. You feel me? So it's a way to trick yourself into um, becoming something strange. Yeah, some days you got to wake up early. You feel me? Some days you got to, do things and have kind of plays in hand that sets up, you know, your wealth or whatever, right? But it's up to you to understand that to the core and actually, become that thing. You feel me? So now getting back to it, that slave mindset is eradicated in our being as we speak because again, let me see if this, okay, now this thing don't want to work. Oh, because again, we're through the final destination. All right, let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's go down my Instagram feed. Shout out to the family. That Friday was absolutely off the chain. Me and the Patreon family was diving deep into that on Saturday. We were just looking at the signs and symbols. We like, hold on. Wait, plantation burnt down. 11 inmates escaped. Final destination comes out. Fire, skull. I said, boy, if they don't know. And then the funny thing is, that Wednesday, we just talked about the element fire. Ha. So honestly, we did that shit, nigga. Straight up and down, nigga. Wednesday, we talked about the element fire for a good hour and a half. Friday, that whole fire shit happened. We was talking about cleansing and purifying and everything and burning shit up. And sure enough, hey, spirit came through like, fuck it. we want to show these niggas a symbol right now. It's y'all's time to shine. Hey, burn some bridges, burn the boats, and do you. All right, let me share my Instagram feed. Let's go down this Instagram feed. So if y'all don't know, Motion Mondays, when I dive deep into the fold of my YouTube page, and we go into what we call spiritual gnosis to make sure that we get our minds right and prepared for these Mondays. Okay, why is it not sharing? Let's try it again. Because these Mondays are heavy. Okay, what is this? I don't know what this is. Is the audio even playing? Okay, hold on, y'all. Technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on. Make sure my audio is right. Make sure my audio is right. Okay. Oh, they're trying to stop the guy. Okay. See if I can grab this thing. God's peace to the family. All right, good. There you go. There you go. Let's get it. All right. Let's see what this Instagram is talking about.
I would love to own my own home.
Oh, you go right ahead then.
Now, in The Secret,
Yes.
it would seem, to my understanding,
Yes.
that what one should do is focus on the exact perfect home for me.
Yes.
Now,
This functions as a template because you see, again, it's a permission slip. The home may or may not look exactly like you imagine it. But whatever in your mind, whatever in your visualization is the ideal representation, the ideal permission slip will resonate with your preferred vibration. And then the higher self will bring you the idea that actually is representative of your true high frequency, even if it's a little bit different than what your physical mind was capable of imagining. But it still functions as a template to get you on the right resonant frequency. That's what it's for. So if you use it, imagine it in all the details you can, perfectly as you can, it will get you more excited because it's more representative of what you believe you want. And by getting more excited, you will then attract exactly what will really serve you. Make sense?
it does.
Okay. Shout out to Bashar. It's funny, they show Bashar on this computer, but when I do this in the morning, they show me all kind of different stuff. Bobby, C. Freeman L. I'm like, damn. So maybe my algorithm, maybe the algorithms are different on each thing. You feel me? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hello? I'm on this live right now. Nuh-uh. Or 8:30. All right, wow. Get him. Got was on the live. We got the Goddess Build, also Patreon family with D-Ray at 9:30, 9:45. The Goddess Build with D-Ray, 9:45 a.m. Okay, so now your body keeps the score, right? And in understanding that your body keeps the score, essentially what happens is you got to, in your meditation, in your visualization, you got to feel that excitement of, let's say it's a new home, like Bashar was saying, or the new car, right? You got to feel that energy or that resonance of energy that puts you in a feeling mechanism zone, right? So feeling good is the work, and that feeling good is a very important thing to have in your day-to-day walks of life. A lot of times we're addicted to feeling bad, and that addiction to feeling bad leads us down a rabbit hole of alcohol, drugs, weed, and we never get over the depressed state because that is easier than trying to make your body feel good. But when you put yourself in these high vibrational zones, it's in like taking yourself outside, starting your diffusers, getting your ancestral oils working. Essentially, these cells are free. And they're not enslaved to the old idea or paradigm of yourself. So now they begin to capture a new resonance of happy, joy, love, excitement. See, you got to want to feel good inside. I know that's a hard thing to swallow, but some people, they want to feel pain. They want to feel hurt because that's all they know based off of the trauma experiences that they felt as a kid. You want to embrace the pain, the hurt, the traumas, and understand that that is not you. That was a lesson that you came down here to learn in the earth realm. And as you become spiritual and more conscious, you can say, oh, okay, I learned this less. I was going through this specific experience as a child, as a teen, as a young adult, to gain clarity on my purpose, because if I didn't have that experience, then I wouldn't be able to do this new purpose or this purpose driven. So remember, there is no good or bad, right or wrong. Those experiences are what you actually came down here to earth to have. You came down to here to feel that pain, that hurt. You don't want to keep the pain and hurt because you never go through your hero's journey. You want to be able to understand it, right? Look at it, understand it. Understand that you can't take it personal. Your mama, your brother, you feel me, your auntie, whatever, your childhood friends, right? They bullying you, whatever. You can't take it personal. You got to understand you had to go through that particular skill in order to kill off an aspect of you that needed to transform into gold, which is God. So you have to embrace the pains of that childhood experience or young adult or teenage experiences, because you don't want to carry out that experience to the rest of your life and say, oh, woe is me, woe is me. This is, if there is no enemy, there is no story. So you got to embrace that villain time, right? You got to embrace what they say, if Tom catches Jerry, then the story ends. So you got to understand that, hey, we're just keeping this story going. So, and then this is a never ending story. So let's say you get over that childhood experience and all of that, right? Essentially, even in your adulthood, there's another level and another where you can keep on transforming into the greatest version of yourself. It's just up to you to have the courage, the strength to say, you know what, while I'm on this rock, on this planet Earth, I'm going to embrace my hero story, right? They showing it in all of these Disney movies, all of these movies, right? I'm going to embrace my hero story and get on my shit. You don't want to try to embrace it at 75, 80. You can, but I'm just saying, some of y'all young guys, you want to embrace that bitch right now, baby. You feel me? You trying to embrace it at 95. You about to, hey, you know, it's never too late, but goddamn, right when you about to hit the can, shit. And that's still into play, because again, remember, when you transition, the only thing that is holding you here on earth is your ability that you didn't accomplish stuff, or you having an attachment to earth. So you having a strong attachment to sex, you having a strong attachment to being a celebrity, you having a strong attachment to you raising your kids right. You feel me? Let's say you didn't raise your kids the best way or whatever. You having a strong attachment to that. All of these attachment has to be eradicated before your final destination. When you feel at peace with self and you're on that deathbed, right? And you felt completely whole in your journey, you don't want to turn, when you transition, you don't want to start turning, because in the astral world, that's kind of what's happening. The regret, and then that regret just brings you back. Now, you know, some people just want to come back, so that's part of this thing too, right? But let's say you want to go into another soul travel. If you feel like you need more lessons down here, then essentially that's what's going to happen. Remember, feeling is the only thing that matters. Your emotions or your chakra systems is the energy that is going with you into the spirit world. So you need to start paying a lot of attention to that and less attention to, you know, your day-to-day walks in life and shit. your struggles of the day and shit like that. You feel me? Pay attention to your energy first, and then everything else will work its way out. All right, let's keep it rolling, baby. Yeah, they show me Bashar on this damn computer, but then on my YouTube, they show me a whole
Everything you need to know is this. Truly, this. Whatever options are available to you at any given moment, choose the one that contains more excitement than any other, even if it's just a little bit more. Act on it to the best of your ability, taking it as far as you can until you can take it no further. Do this with integrity. Do this with absolutely no assumption, no insistence on what the outcome ought to be or how it should look or how you should get there whatsoever. When you do that, 3-part formula, act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability with no insistence on the outcome. You open up and activate the kit, the toolkit of excitement. The toolkit contains everything you need to be supported in life in whatever form it needs to come in, the driving engine that moves you through life, the organizing principle of synchronicity that allows you to do what you need to do when you need to do it in perfect timing, in perfect order. It becomes the path of least resistance that allows you to flow through your life effortlessly. It becomes the path that connects you to all other expressions of your excitement, even if they don't look like they're connected on the surface. It's the excitement that tells you that they are. And it becomes the reflective mirror that reveals to you anything within your consciousness that might be out of alignment with that excitement, so that you can identify those definitions that don't work for you and let them go and add their energy to your excitement and continue to expand. And then everything.
You have to be passionate about something down here on earth. The end. There's no way around it, family. You can't be in this bitch just being a human. See, passion is God. So understand that you need to have that passion or that desire for something down here on this earth is an important aspect of you conquering the earth or sitting on top of the earth. Something has to motivate you and move you into a space of genius, into tapping into your genie, which is your pineal gland. So in order for you to start that process of tapping into your genie, your pineal gland, your genius, you must find something that you're passionate about and something that moves you on a day-to-day basis. And then every day, give that passion an hour. Give that passion an hour of your time. See, when you work for somebody else and you are, they take your energy because of circadian rhythm, essentially that 9 o'clock is your peak time to express yourself and express your truth, right? That's why I do everything in the rising. I don't know how these other YouTubers do that shit at night. I'd be like, damn, these niggas different. They must be real passionate. By nighttime, I'm done. I don't want to even see other shit. What? Maybe they stay up all night and shit. Maybe they, whatever. Me, nigga, my circadian rhythm is just gone. My melatonin starts secreting at 6:30. I probably be dozing off at 7 o'clock, 7:30. You feel me? Shit. So it'd be right in alignment with my ass. I wake up, get my passion on, right? And then shit. 6:30, 7 o'clock. You ain't hearing from Dream Wise, baby. I'm asleep. 8:30, I gotta be doing something else. You feel me? So, with the job situation, what they do is they take all your energy, your primal energy in the rising when you wake up, and they put it to their business, their work, or whatever, right? So that's the thing. That's the thing that's encapsulating people with jobs, right? The primal energy that you have is excited, but you have to give it to something that you're not excited about, and then that's when you get the redundant or the repetitious slave mindset of staying in limbo or robotic in your day-to-day walks of life. So what you want to do is, what you do want to do is early. If you can start on your passion early and be doing your passion and almost be like, damn, I'm about to be late for work, then that's part of the goal right there. Whatever it might be, give yourself an hour. Let's say you got to go be at work at 9 o'clock. Shit, it takes you 15 minutes to get to work. Start your passion at 7:30, 7:45. Start doing that shit and shit. By 8:45, you're like, damn, I gotta put this down. Fuck. That's good. That's a good thing. You're actually working on your energy centers as well when you do that. You feel me? You're doing the chakra work without you knowing, in your heart chakra. Because again, that's what this thing is about. The love that you have to express yourself, throat chakra, in whatever way, fashion that you need to express it. So I get it. People, they say, hey, give yourself an hour when you get off of work. I say, if you could try to hit that bitch before work, then do that. Because that's when your energy is right. Your circadian rhythm is right on point. 5:30, 6 o'clock, you in that sleepy mode. You ain't even trying to hear shit. You ain't trying to do a motherfucking thing. You in that alpha state, don't get me wrong. So it could, to each his own, you feel me? It could turn you up, but then again, you just got to be honest with yourself. And if you ain't even in that zone of genius, then shit, you need to take your ass to bed. See, a spirit will give you another play in the dream realm. I was in the astral realm last night teaching, and I was getting taught by a individual as well in a big school and shit. So that was interesting, very, very interesting. Okay, let's keep it going. Let's keep it rolling.
Can't find yourself until you're by yourself.
Yeah, facts. And that's scary, being by yourself, man. Like being in a quiet house in the dark, turning the lights off and feeling you, like feeling your essence, your being, and it's not where you want it to be. That is some scary, brother. Because you got to deal with that. The darkness get thick. You start hearing the house settle. You hear little movements and cracklings. You can hear your heart beating. You can feel your blood pumping through your body. You can listen and hear your breath. It's like, dang, it's you. You just left to deal with you. Then them thoughts creep in. I'm not good enough. This is why I'm not good enough. I did that person wrong. Dang, remember you did that. See, it's because when you in the spotlight, I'm in the spotlight a lot. I get a lot of compliments. Everybody want autographs. They want autographs. They want pictures. It keep me in my ego. But when you by yourself and that ego gone, you got to deal with who you are and what you did, man. It be sins that you forgot you committed, that when you meditating by yourself, they get brought. I did that 10 years ago. I forgot I even committed that. And that shows you how desensitized we have become as a people. You can do some hurtful things in your past years. You either done suppressed it subconsciously, or you too much in your ego. You didn't forget that you did people wrong. You need to be more humble. You used to be in the streets. You know what that consists of. You need to be more humble about yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really learning to accept, surrender to myself, and after that surrenderance, take my power back, man.
Can't find yourself.
Shout out to Yaki, man. Fire information right there. Yeah, the darkness is good. The darkness is good, and we need the darkness because that darkness is essentially us listening to ourselves. Selves are selves. And essentially, you can't run away from yourself, right? But out of darkness comes light. So now, all of a sudden, if you go into the darkness, you will build upon this light we call the world, or the emanation of your manifestations. So there ain't no way around it. I was just telling D-Ray, like, shit, if I go to sleep at 3:30, let's say I go to sleep at 3:30 in the morning, I stay up that whole time. Nigga, I'm gonna be in the astral realms heavy. It's been happening to me since I was a child. I have that in between sleep shit. Like I'm sleeping, I'm up, and things will start coming into the room. And them hoes, as a child, them hoes used to be scary. Now, you know, you can embrace it a little bit more. Your eyes be closed, but then your eyes is damn near open too. And you can see in your whole room. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all might go through that shit. Go to sleep at 3:30, sober though. Sober. Because I used to go to sleep at 3:34, but I was drunk coming from the strip club, super drunk, taking myself out. So I was basically just numbing myself to sleep. I try that shit 3:34 in the morning, the witching hours. I go to sleep during the witching hours, boy. That's sure enough, I'm gonna see some shit. And that shit gonna be turned the fuck up. That shit used to fuck me up as a kid. I used to be like, damn, what the fuck? You like, God damn, an evil witch done came in this bitch. You see all type of scary ass shit. That shit deep, nigga. I don't know what that is. You know what I'm saying? They call it what they call it. Babe, what you put in the chat what they call it, but yeah, that shit used to be deep. But shout out to Yaki again, man. He dropped on that and you just understand that the darkness is good. When you close your eyes, you're in meditation, right? I always suggest everybody take a all dark, pitch dark, even close, put a towel under your door and take a spiritual bath. That water is emotion, so that water is going to bring forth the emotions up out of you, right? In pitch darkness, pitch dark in the water. Sit there for an hour in that water. Now, you know, you want to do 20 to 25 minutes, but you know, sometimes the ego start playing and you start trying to think of good shit and shit. Sit there for an hour in that spiritual bath. Sea salt, you know, all of that good spiritual concoction stuff, right? Boom. Just look at the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs and get to all of that stuff, right? Boom. You take that spiritual bath for an hour, pitch dark. Nigga, that shit gonna come up like a motherfucker in your ass. And then you get to see what you need to do down here. Also, you can sit in a dark room with your eyes open. Just sit there in the darkness. Pitch dark though. You got to get them blackout curtains. Them hoes gonna hit your ass. That shit's some good shit. Actually, you know what's wrong with me? Why I feel like it's good and not like scary? Because I like that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, it's something about the winter time that I like. That, okay, I'm grinding. You feel me? That type of shit. All right, I'm in this bitch. You feel me? Because the light is easy. Once you get to the light, it's like, all right, I made it. Fuck it. What's up? You know, you chilling, relaxing and shit. That darkness is like, ooh, okay, here we go. Ha! You know what I'm saying? You get shit. I know what Yaki talking about. Some of that shit came up for me, but you know what? All that street shit, all that shit kicked over, whatever, right? I understand it as like, oh, okay, I had to go through that based off of me being heavily sedated by these drugs, and I had to experience all of that to get to another level of myself. That's how I interpret all of them things that come up. I don't interpret it as like, oh shit, you did wrong, and oh man, that person, da 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 da. You feel me? I interpret it as shit. I was out of my mind. And, you know, hey, I'm here having this human experience, and I got to be able to bask in that. Then you definitely don't want to interpret it as some kind of moralistic thing, because the karma will start to set in, because the karma is based on your heart. And I'm not running away from saying that, oh, that was me. I'm saying, like, I don't feel bad about the situations that I put myself in, because I had to go through those in order to learn who I am today and to gain a lot more ground of who I am today. Because the because maybe the karma set in early for me, because them sleepless nights and all of that shit of me, worrying about somebody coming from my back or whatever, right? That shit was deep. And it took me out of that person that I didn't want to be, because I wasn't built for it. You feel me? Let's keep it rolling, baby. Let's keep it rolling. Sleep paralysis. That's it, babe. Sleep paralysis. Yeah, Titus, there you go. Okay, here we go. Let's roll it.
I don't want this job, or I don't want this relationship, or I don't want these hips, or I don't want whatever. That does not get you what you want. That's what I call fighting the negative. And it doesn't do anything but keep what you have that you say you don't want. However, if you start saying and doing affirmations that I have a wonderful new job, or I have this most absolutely marvelous relationship, then you're beginning to create what it is you do want. Affirmations are like planting seeds. And if you think for a moment, when you put a seed in the ground, you do not get instant tomato plant or instant strawberries or instant oak tree. That seed goes in the ground and it has to germinate. That's the first thing, which means it breaks open its little shell and little roots begin to go down and it gets nourishment from the earth. And only then does the first little shoot come up through the ground. Now, when we're doing affirmations, too often people say, well, that isn't $1 million, and they stomp on that first little shoot. They don't give it a chance to grow. Doing affirmations is like planting a seed in the ground, and watering it is like repeating your affirmations. And you just keep doing them, and you keep doing them, and you keep doing them. And it doesn't matter whether you see the results or you don't see the results. And sometimes it just takes time. And too many people will do affirmations for 2 or 3 days and say, see, it doesn't work. If everything happens in the perfect time space sequence, and we want to trust that and we want to know that. So if you begin to do affirmations for yourself, and I think it's important that we do that on a daily basis, decide what you want and begin to do positive statements in present tense for what you want. You never want to say, I will have or I'm going to have, because if you do that, it keeps it in the future. And remember, if you say, I have a wonderful new apartment and you're living in a dump, it doesn't mean that this is not a true statement. It means you are planting the seed that will germinate and grow and become the new apartment.
I am, I feel, I love, I hear, I think, I am this thing right now. So the positive affirmation mixed with the intentionality of speaking it as it's happening right now is important. Very, very important. But also beyond that is writing that bitch down. I cannot stress this enough. Writing it down. Writing things that you want to see, that you're claiming to be right now, down. When you write that down, you're essentially bringing it into the third dimension. So now it has a physical incantation right now because you wrote it down. You feel me? Vision board stuff, putting pictures up, right? The mind movies that we talked about in the Patreon, right? All of these things are important to bring forth the physical representation into existence right now. So writing it down, mind movies, all of that stuff right now. And then mixed with the positive affirmations like she was talking about. And the positive affirming to yourself every day is not something that you like want to think about. You just be that. Being it means you just completely habitually saying it until you become it. Because again, what happens is people take themselves out of it because they're in the thinking mechanism. No, you got to just keep on going until you eradicated something in your being. Auto suggestions all day long until something eradicates into your being. See, what they did with the slave mindset in schools is they programmed you into the way of a way of thinking. And that way of thinking has took you out of your right state of mind, which is the intuitive, the feeling, the knowing energy. And it just puts you into the left brain prisoner mode, which is logical, reasoning, rationale. So if you're taken out of your right brain, which is the intuitive, feeling, creative, genius mode, then you can't see yourself as a winner, see yourself as the hero of your story, see yourself as a business owner. You won't be able to see that because essentially you're stuck in your left brain and you're just going with these two eyes. So now, in order to manipulate your world, you're going to have to get back into that right brain, the magic, the intuition, the feeling, the art, the creativity, and start seeing and thinking of yourself as the person that you're claiming to be. And that will do way more wonders for you than being stuck in the contraption of the left brain that keeps you in limbo of maybe I need to get another job. This is not no thinking game. This is a feeling game. And that's where a lot of people fuck up. Whenever you see, when you see them boys hooping and shit like that, they're in the game because they can feel it, right? So when somebody makes a game winner, they feel it. It's not like it's a just different thing that's happening. They're going to make that hole. Once you start thinking, that's when you miss. But when you see it already going in and you can feel that bitch, there's nobody going to stop you because your body is just going to take you somewhere else to where you can make the right move at the right time. Football, bat, all of it. That's why sports are good to watch because, again, we can see who's tapped into the feeling mechanism and we can see who's thinking of the crowd, thinking of what everybody else is thinking. Now, you got to take your mind out of it and be in that bitch. You feel me? And that's how you hit that game winner. All right, let's do one more, family. Let's do one more. Let's see what we got here. Shout out to this goddess right
Always
here.
thank the universe. That's the secret to being happy. If you forget to be grateful, you start getting miserable. Buddha said all the riches, all the beautiful women, best wine and stuff does not give you happiness. But basically, Four Noble Truths of Buddha. First, life consists of suffering. Number two, there is a reason for our suffering. And usually the reason is either ego, desire, pleasure, or attachment. Third is there is an end to our suffering. And the end to our suffering is in the Eightfold Path. Meditating, controlling your thoughts, doing more asceticism, letting go of pleasure, letting go of desire, not trying to be rich, not trying to have the most beautiful woman in the world or the most rich guy in the world.
But these sound good, bro.
Yeah, it sounds good, but do you feel content after? Let's say you sleep with a 10 out of 10 girl. Do you feel happy afterward? Yes, for some time, but then you go back and you feel maybe even worse. Same with money. You never feel like you have enough money.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So Buddha...
I mean, it's real. I never feel like I have enough. I always want to have more.
That's the human nature. It's the greed inside of us. I think this guy's great. Number one human in the whole history of humanity.
Cool, bro.
Always thank the universe.
Okay, one of the aspects that the guy said was being grateful. Being grateful is an important aspect that we got to understand. One thing I do want to tap into, and them thankful showers and the grateful showers are important. But one thing I do want to tap into is this time that we're in. I was talking to D-Ray about this because our kids, all of our kids on here on this YouTube, they have so many choices. And these choices are fucking them up. Because they got choices beyond choices beyond choices. See, when we as kids, we can only watch what was on Nickelodeon at that time. What was on UPN at that time. Oh, Recess came on ABC at 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. Bet. Well, I guess I got to watch Recess and watch what they give me, right? You feel me? Now, nigga, These kids got, now we had choices too, don't get me wrong, because you know, the cable was what, 100 and something channels, but then you really just had 5 channels that you went to, you feel me? Now, nigga, with the inundation of all these apps, and then all the apps give you 1,000 choices. The music give you millions of choices. The damn YouTube. Oh, YouTube is horrible for kids. I don't know what these kids be watching. YouTube. I try to keep my kids off of YouTube as much as possible. I'll give them a reward to watch it, and then I'll watch what they're watching. I just try to understand, not judge, but understand, okay, why do you like this thing? What is interesting about it? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just trying to understand too from another level. Like, okay, what is that? The choice, Nick, Disney app, a million choices. Netflix, millions of choices. Shit, we were struggling to find something to watch yesterday. D-Ray and I, shit. And then if y'all don't know that Friends and Family or whatever, Friends and Neighbors, that show is off the chain. We watched the episode yesterday, the last episode. Friends and Neighbors, Apple TV. I think it is. Yeah, Apple TV. So these choices, I think, is a case study for us to understand how our kids are going to be in the future. Because that ADHD might really set on shit. Because if they can't focus on one thing because they got so many choices, then, you know what I'm saying, we'll see how how it goes. Shit, I used to love to read books. Love it, absolutely love. Encyclopedia Brown, all them books, right? Just take myself away. All them detective books, all them little kid books that was fire when I was a kid. There's no shit. Try to give a kid a book now. Now, obviously, you can give them it if you put them in that frequency of, hey, it's reading time, let's read. But if you already got them hooked on that TV and all of that, them devices and stuff, it's not fast enough, baby. Chaos in the blood, baby. So, you know what I'm saying? We want to be able to observe that with our kids today and just understand that this new technology age that we're going into can hinder them and also help them as well. So there's no way my kid's going to do it. My oldest is 9. You think this nigga is going to do a goddamn book report, an 8-page book report when they got goddamn Chat GPT? It's going to be chat by the time he gets to that stage. It's going to be Chat GPT 15 or whatever. Nigga, I wouldn't. What? For what? No, now you think these kids is going to sit and think about what they read, or they just going to put it in the computer and then remix it? It's over, nigga. And the faster y'all can swallow that, the faster shit you'll be able to move on with your own genius. Because you got to understand, like, look, hey, you're in this world and you're just observing this world. As an ultimate observer, you got to be real honest with yourself and say, okay, what is college in 10 years from now? Be real honest. You feel me? Get real honest with yourself. Like, all right, how, you know what I'm saying? Hell, these kids, these shit. My brother-in-law, no certification, teacher, $70,000 a year. Shit, I was just a teacher 10 years ago. Needed a certification, a degree. Now they like, hey, you want to teach? Come on, baby. Soon, watch what I tell you. Associate degree, teach 70. They just need the bodies. Now they just need bodies. Boys out here trying to get it on their own. They ain't trying to hear none of that shit. They ain't trying to sit in no classroom with these kids. Then the kids get worse and badder. Their attention span gone. It's harder to teach them. Shit, they ain't trying to sit there. Nah, nigga, I ain't trying to sit in none of that. Yes, sir, family. Yes, sir. Motion Mondays. Motion Mondays. That is it until tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to dive deep into the fold tomorrow. So y'all be on the lookout for Dream Wise live tomorrow. I might go live a little bit later, because my son has a award day. You know, it's the last day of school and shit. So y'all check me out tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time. Love and appreciate y'all, family. Peace to the gods.